Hello, I'm Chrissy.
And I'm Caroline, and we're interior designers. More and more people are asking us about what we do and how we do it.
Which brings us to our new design adventure, the Design Duet. Join us as we discuss the ins and outs and the ups and downs of interior design. Caroline, here we are again. Hello.
Nice to see you, Chrissy.
You too. We're going to do something a little bit different today.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to interview each other.
Okay.
And we thought we'd do this just to, again, let people know what we're like ourselves, what we like, how we roll, a little bit about our personalities, our likes.
Oh, I could be scared
quirky
here.
things here. Get ready.
Great.
So I'm going to interview you first.
Okay.
And I've got some questions for you. Hopefully you feel comfortable answering them all. Hopefully I've made them easy to understand and reflect you.
Mm-hmm.
My first question to you is, what first sparked your interest in design?
Okay. Well, I'm going to say probably when I was a little girl, I would always love going to places like my nana's house. I always thought that was really beautiful and, grand, and she had special pieces of furniture and she had gorgeous fabrics.
Mm.
And I always remember going into her, the sit-up room, the front sit-up room.
The grown-up room.
The grown-up room.
Mm.
And we were allowed to sit in there on a beautiful Sanderson linen sofa, and we'd maybe sit on the old gorgeous fluffy rug that was around the fireplace and just things like that. I think I always thought that was really special.
Yeah.
I had a beautiful neighbour who had a gorgeous home, so I always admired her home, and an aunt who had a lovely home. And, our home is pretty special, but Mum had a lot of children.
Mm.
So it just made it a little bit more hectic. But I must say, I think, growing up, I just always had a lot of, colour and pattern and interiors around me. And I think that's probably what got me inspired to love beautiful things around me.
And the detail.
The details.
Do you have any hobbies that relate to your interior design career?
Okay, let me think about it. Well, I think I like collecting.
Yes,
you do. I do like collecting bits and pieces, and at the moment probably one of my loves is Murano glassware. I really enjoy, and I have been enjoying that for quite some time, but more so now because I just see so much more colour in it. And
what sort of pieces are you collecting?
I have got a lot of glassware, objects. I'm laughing because I can just hear my children going and rolling their eyes. So objects like decorative pieces, vases, plates and bowls, and I love moving them around the house, and I do move them around the house from room to room, and I just love looking at them. I love the colour and I love how they're made, and
sometimes come on styling jobs.
Absolutely. I love their texture and I love their shapes and just everything about it. And it reminds me of travel too.
Did that obsession start during COVID?
I think it might have, but don't tell anyone.
Yeah. Tap, tap, purchase.
Exactly.
Yeah. What would you say your niche or unique skill is in this industry?
Okay, so I would say my niche and my unique skill would be mixing colour and pattern. I think that over the years a lot of people have probably come to me for that.
Mm-hmm.
And have always said to me, I don't know how you can mix so many colours together and know that they work, and pattern on pattern, and they're just making sure that the tones are actually similar and work together.
Do you think that's grown with your experience over the years?
Yeah, I must say I have always had a passion for colour, but pattern on colour and pattern on pattern is, definitely come in time. And confidence, and over time that confidence has certainly come. And the more people have enjoyed it,
yes,
the easier it's come to me,
and the more opportunity to actually do it.
Absolutely,
in people's homes.
Without a doubt. And I think that people now trust that I can do that. And some people will say to me, "Oh, well, okay, go ahead, do it," but it's on your back.
And they might not understand exactly the process and how it's going to look, the end result, until you've actually created it for them.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
they'll be surprised in a positive way.
And I think that's another thing, with, us trying to create mood boards and, always having fabric cut-ins and pieces so that people can see the flat lay.
Yes.
Or a mood board so that they can actually envisage it as well.
Yes, definitely. Not just digital.
Exactly.
Who or what have been the biggest influence in your design career?
Okay, so I would say to you probably from the beginning I've always looked at Trisha Guild, Designers Guild. She, I think, works beautifully with colour and she's got a great eye and has been, very influential with her colours and her patterns and I've always followed her. And to begin with in my career, I would have used her fabrics on nearly every job I did.
Really?
Yeah. And then I probably went into doing a little bit more classic design. So I probably would have looked at, somebody like Nina Campbell.
Yes.
And again, I feel like she is a classic.
Yeah, I was about to say the old classics.
Yeah. And then, I did do a lot of that work at the beginning as well. So very, very traditional and just beautiful and elegant. And I knew that I could always find that look with what she produced each season. And probably now I'd say to you, if we were to look at anything, like we'd probably look at Kit Ken.
Definitely.
I think that the style and the contemporariness of her and her work is extraordinary.
And the use of colour and pattern.
Use of colour and pattern and oversized, and bold. A real presence.
Yeah.
And, where possible, I probably would do that. But yeah, then there's, just other little designers that you stumble upon. You think, wow, I love that. And, I'm always looking at different things and, like wallpapers from LaCroix. I've used in the past and I love, individual
she
styles.
Loves that. She sure does.
Like that.
What is your favourite part of the design and decoration process?
I'm going to say to you, I really enjoy sourcing. And I think you'd probably say the same.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's the fun.
How could you not?
I know. It's the fun, I think. It's getting a brief from a client is awesome and it's exciting. And then, nailing that.
Yeah.
Finding, different unique pieces. And I try not to put, similar designs on, people's jobs. So I always try and look for something new and individual or, something that's a classic, but, mix it up by having a different fabric. Or
relates to that client.
And relates to that client. So certainly listening to what their needs and thoughts are. And that's the amazing thing about it. I'm often wanting to buy things for my house, but don't have the opportunity because I don't have the room. So therefore having the opportunity to buy it for a client, and show them and then get so much enjoyment out of it, I feel like I've bought it.
Yeah. It's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a bit of a buzz from it.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you notice when you visit someone's house?
Okay, that's a hard one, isn't it? I'm going to say I probably walking into someone's home, I would notice light first. That's probably something that, I'm drawn to and, where is the light coming from and where, how's it going to be useful in the space, in the house. And then I'd say to you, layout of furniture. I can't not going to a space, whether it's a house or a restaurant or a area that, a reception place. I can't go in there and not start moving furniture around in my mind.
Yeah.
Think that placement of furniture is incorrect and that scale's wrong, need to be bigger, smaller, or it needs to be, orientated this way or that way. And colour.
Yeah, okay.
I would go in there and think, this is all a bit bland. It's one colour. That's hard for me.
Yeah.
Just to even add, tones on tones of different whites, ivory, beige, whatever it may be. just to have different tones and different scales of colour.
This is interesting to me because this to me is a very basic question.
Yeah,
Because
right.
for me, I would always say smell.
Yes.
Smell, because I just think it's also creates a memory.
Yeah. The first thing you notice when you walk in somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Love it.
No, but so that's very interesting that what you have said. I think very different responses. What's the best advice you ever gave a client?
Oh gosh. There's lots of things. I probably, and I still probably say it to this day, you've got to really love it. You've got to really want it so that you get to really enjoy it.
Yes, you do say that. And it's true.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Good. Well, I think so.
It's good advice.
Yeah, good.
What's the strangest request you've ever received from a client?
Oh gosh, so this is okay. All right. So I had a client who thought they were short on space in their loo. So we came up with the scope of work, and then he said, I've got a good idea for the bathroom loo that I know is going to be very tight. I looked at him, thought, that's unusual. So he showed me a photo, I kid you not, it was a toilet, and you would go to the toilet and then you'd put the seat down, flush it on the side, and then on top of the cistern was a tap with a basin. So you would put down the seat and you would move to the side of the toilet and you'd wash your hands.
So it was like an all-in-one.
Yes, in the vanity, which was the basin sitting on top of the loo cistern.
Wow.
Yeah. I did not, to his credit, use that toilet.
No.
But
we do have a great photo of it, which we might pop on Instagram one day. And you'll see the ridiculousness of it.
But gee, didn't that give us an hour of laughter?
Oh, wow. Boy. And we still think about it and laugh.
It's one
of the best.
It's one of the best.
God. Oh, how do you balance personal style with your client preferences? That toilet is not an example of this.
No, it certainly isn't. Well, again, getting the scope of work from a client. So the brief that I receive, it, again, listening to a client, making sure that what we're going to produce and, give them is something that they are asking for. So it's actually really not even about me. It actually becomes about them. So as a result, I don't feel like people would walk into the homes I did and said, oh, Caroline's been here. I feel like in areas, yes, but I feel like they could come into a space and say, this is beautiful and this reflects you and your family and your style. And that's what I hope that would happen. I definitely would bring a touch of me in there, but I certainly…
And what would that touch be then?
Well, it might be, for example, it might be something as simple as a cushion, a cushion that's got, 3 more colours than they probably would have selected if they didn't have me. It could be something simple as that. It could be a piece of art, again, the same, them probably selecting something a bit more monochromatic and me introducing them to a few more colours in that piece of art. So it could be something as simple as that, but definitely I don't think I get affected by what I love for my own personal self and showing the client what they're asking me for. Yeah. I feel like I can give them what they need and, their style.
Definitely. Well, that's all part of the job. How do you balance work and life?
Well,
because you have a busy life.
I have a busy life. I feel I'm very strict with myself. I get my work done. I don't feel like I'm dragging my feet on my work. That's my, one of my priorities as well as my, life at home.
I guess you can be a bit flexible with the work. You can do it late at night if you need to. You can do it early in the morning if you need to.
Absolutely. And I do work, on the weekends if I have to as well. So, and that doesn't worry me, if I need to do a couple of hours here and there, it's fine.
Yeah.
go and do delivery on a Saturday, it's fine. It doesn't affect me. If I can work it out and, and balance it, I will make it happen.
Yep, you certainly do. What's the biggest challenge you have ever faced in the industry?
I'm going to say to you, and I think I'd be saying it for a lot of people, COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like COVID was the fear of the unknown. And I think that none of us really knew what was going to happen.
No.
And I certainly remember at the beginning of it, my husband was really busy with his work and he was going to work each day. And he said, well, don't worry, it's going to be fine. COVID's hit, but, we'll be all right. And I said, well, yeah, but your career is going to still keep going. I'm not quite sure if mine will. And I think he was a bit shocked that I said that because at that point in time, clients were getting a bit edgy as well.
Yes.
And, clients were at the beginning certainly saying, we'll just hold off for a bit.
That's right.
Because we didn't quite know how long this COVID thing was going to be. And then when I feel like, halfway through, not even probably a third way through, people were getting their confidence back. So we started working from home, started doing Zooms and, we're able to get, samples and things like that sent to us, via post and, pop past and pick something up or, things like that started to happen a bit more.
It's had a long-lasting effect though, hasn't it? Like for the 2 years after, the material shortages and just still the fear.
Yes.
Because of the interest rates going
Absolutely.
up.
And remembering that we couldn't, like you're saying, there was a lot of stock that we couldn't receive and things that come in on shipments from overseas took, doubled the time.
Just pushed everything
out. So, knowing our ETAs we still would say now to this day is a big thing.
Definitely.
Definitely always want to be clear on your ETAs and is the fabric available? Is the furniture available? Is it going to get custom made? Where's that components coming from? It's all of that.
Is it Australian made?
Exactly.
All of that. Yeah, it definitely was a huge, scary time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And long lasting.
Yeah, and buildings, and architecture and, yes, they were still getting done, but, the quoting stage became a lot harder. And so as a result, things were being pushed back.
Harder because you couldn't go on site too.
Yeah.
Just shocking. Okay, let's talk about something nice. What's your favourite piece of furniture that you have and why?
All right. Okay. I'm going to say I've got a beautiful Murano glass chandelier in my bedroom. And I probably love that the most.
But you're not 100% sure?
No, I do. I'm trying to think. I've got other things in my house that I really love. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. And it came to me via, and this is a weird story, but over the years, and I'm going to say to you, probably even 15 years ago, I worked with a supplier and he, at this point in time, had a big warehouse full of stock and that I was going to purchase that light film, but I was thinking, it's very expensive and it was probably out of my budget. Anyway, I did some work for him and he couldn't afford to pay for it. And I could just see that things weren't going well with his business and he was most likely going to close down.
Right.
And so instead of paying me, he paid me with that chandelier.
Oh, poor you.
Yeah, so that's how I got that into my house.
Oh, very
into
nice.
my bedroom, and it's absolutely beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, well,
I'll
it's
have
stunning.
it forever.
Yeah, that's right. If you could live in any city for its design aesthetic, which one would you choose?
I'm going to say to you New York.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I'm going to say is because there's so many parts of New York that you can go to and you can see so many different things, whether it's, the museums, whether it's the buildings, for its architecture, or it could be, and if you're going to look at, interior design, they often have it in one building and you'd go, and have a look at the area that has the lights and then you go and look at the rugs and then you go and look at the fabric house and then you go and have a look at the furniture. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And you can take your clients there. I think that's really fun.
Yeah.
But, things like that, the the bridges and, the High Line and, just the beautiful, gorgeous styling that they do in shops. And I love their retail.
Everything's big.
Everything's oversized, big, and their restaurants are exquisite. They have some of the best in the world there. Their fit outs are extraordinary. Hotels are amazing often. And, again, the fit outs in, the hotels could even be in, the reception areas. And that's the good thing about New York. You feel like there's so many people there. It doesn't matter if you walk into a reception, into a hotel, because no one really knows if you're staying there or not, So it's one of those sort of places you can be invisible, but you can also be part of it. So, and just the beauty of it all, love it. Central Park, just love the diversity of people but the interiors and buildings and architecture and art and extraordinary.
Loud, bright and bold like yourself.
Oh, thanks. God. Okay.
Here's a weird one for you. What's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you on a job?
Well, I know one that happened to you and I actually. We were in at a farm, and we were doing the farmhouse, and we were staying the night, and we had a whole house lot. We had big truck follow us up there, and we had lots of deliveries, and we pulled back the drapes, and behind the drapes was this massive spider. Tarantula.
Monster spider.
Tarantula.
Hairy.
Yeah. And he was the biggest thing we've ever seen, and we both nearly died. And not only did we nearly die, we had 3 delivery guys with us, and they were screaming.
And they were big guys too. We were scared of them.
Exactly. They were big guys, and even them trying to get the stupid spider out. I remember them screaming and yelling, worse than us.
There's some good video footage of that too, with lots of screaming.
Absolutely.
What are you most proud of?
Well, I've probably got a couple there, but I'll say I'm probably most proud of when Nick and I finished our home reno, on the current house that we live in. I think we both that was our dream together. Yeah. And, when that comes to a head and you finally finished it and, you just think all your hard work's paid off. You never think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And when it actually happens, you just think, oh, thank goodness. Now we can actually sit, relax, reap the benefits a bit and enjoy.
Yes.
And enjoy the house, even though it's a busy household and, sometimes I feel like we don't enjoy it enough. But, when it was done, that certainly was one of my proudest moments.
Yeah, and it was designed well and, you've designed it so your children that were young then are now older and it still works well.
Yeah, it's done
still
for
looks
a family.
Lovely. Yeah. Well done.
Oh, thanks.
You have been in the industry for 25 plus years. What would you tell your younger design self?
I would tell my younger design self to back myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think that now that I've had over 20 years, under my belt, I feel like I could say that, I'm a good person. I will always be respectful, listen and do the right thing. And I feel like I don't need to ever, look behind and think that I shouldn't have done that. I could have done that better. I should have, would have. I don't need to do that. I just feel like I just always could have walked forward and thought, no, I've done a great job there. But I think that's just us in the industry because there's always something in the next, in the next week that we see and we go, oh, I could have used that. Maybe that would have been better on the job.
And also we're very critical of ourselves.
We are. And
that's
so hard, isn't it?
Detailed, focused. Yeah.
Absolutely. So
and visually focused.
Say, definitely. Back yourself. I think that would be the number one. And probably the other thing that I would say is, just if you don't have a good vibe with something or someone, or about something, just can it. Just can it.
If it's not the right fit for you, don't do it.
Don't do it. You're always going to have that feeling. And so I definitely would not do those sort of jobs again anymore.
Fair enough. Years of experience.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It takes years of experience.
It does, doesn't it?
Definitely.
And you've definitely got that.
Yeah. So my first question to you, Chrissy, is what would be your own personal style when it comes to interior design?
Okay. This is quite open-ended for me because I'm definitely contemporary,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I am also evolving continually, and I would have to say I'm eclectic, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I know I love in my interiors in my own house and where possible with clients. I love modern furniture and style, but I love antiques too. So I love to mix it in together, so old and new. I definitely like luxury.
Yeah.
So I like things to look luxe in houses.
Yeah.
And I definitely like texture.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say I'm eclectic.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good answer. And what do you gain for inspiration? Where do you get it from?
From everything.
Okay.
From walking down the street and seeing a beautiful flower, the colour mixed with, the leaves. Like nature is incredible for, the way it has the mixture of colours and it all just comes naturally. So anything, books, TV, anything.
Okay.
I like even just talking to other designers and getting inspiration from them. I just think you just get it in everything. I like it. Fashion too, as you know.
Yes.
So I get inspiration from that, just the way colours work together and patterns and prints. So everything, Caroline.
Okay, good answer. And do you have a particular style of house you enjoy doing more than another?
Well, I definitely would have to say a period home.
Okay.
I just love the history and the architecture of these older houses. They're unique and special, and I like to think that I can bring my own little bit of style into them and create a beautiful period/modern home.
Yeah, which is interesting because then you've just answered the last couple of questions and said, you're quite contemporary.
Yeah.
So then, and you'd love traditional homes too.
Yeah.
So it's a great mix.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I think I'm eclectic. So
I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
And what would be your favourite interior piece you have bought yourself or you've bought for a client?
Okay. So for myself, definitely we have this antique Japanese workbench that we bought, my husband and I, maybe 15 years ago now.
Yeah.
And it's unique, to say the least. We always place it behind a sofa. So it becomes like another table. It's great for putting decorative objects on. Also, if you're sitting on the sofa, you can put coffee or a wine on it. And it is kind of the centerpiece of the room.
Yeah.
And everybody notices it.
Yeah.
It's got, it's very marked and, it's very imperfect. And that's what makes it so special. It's got a history all of its own and I love it.
And where did you buy that one from, Chrissy?
From a shop. It was David Bromley's shop.
Yeah.
So he's sourced it from Japan.
Yeah.
And it's an antique. So, we bought it from a David Bromley store.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. And for a client, it's not actually a piece of furniture. It was a design.
Yeah.
A shelving design that is quite unique with arches and quite detailed. And that client just loved that particular, let's call it piece, because it was unique and it reflected her love.
Oh, great. Fantastic. Excellent. And tell me, what do you like best, plain or pattern fabrics?
I love both. They complement each other.
Yeah.
I would have to say pattern, although I'm not as into bold colours with patterns, but I respect the complexity and design of pattern, and I would have to say pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And texture. You love texture.
I love texture. I would probably mix plain a lot more than you probably would with pattern.
Yeah.
So, look, I love them both, but pattern.
Yeah, beautiful. And tell me, are you drawn to particular colours more so than others?
Definitely. I'm drawn to blues and greens.
Yeah.
I think, with the blues, I think they represent the ocean to me that I love, and I think calmness, and the green is fresh and represents growth, and I just love those two colours together, and I don't know, they just internally make me feel good.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's your go-to.
It's my go-to.
For you.
Yeah, I can't not love them. You just get a feeling inside, don't you?
And
you
you're
say
drawn
the same
to
thing?
them. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And do you have a favourite interior designer?
No, I don't. I like lots of designers.
Yeah.
I like all the designers you like, but I also like Hare and Klein.
Yeah.
I like their elegance.
Yeah.
Recently I've been getting really into David Flack, mainly because I stayed at the Ace Hotel last year, and I loved his use of materials, the way he put that all together. So I've been quite into him. I do love designers like, not that I've ever really used him much, but Greg Natali, I quite like.
Okay.
For me, he represents luxury.
Yeah, right.
And I quite like that.
Yeah.
Also, when it comes to that, I could also say that I also like American architecture and colours. So that's not really a designer, but it's more a design style. And I really, I can feel it in me that I absolutely love the way they do things.
Yeah.
And, there's plenty of American designers I love. I love Kelly Wersler. I mean, who doesn't love Kelly Wersler? But I do. I find her quite bold and she's very clever.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, so a bit of a mix there. A bit of a mix,
I'll say. Tell me, do you prefer a mood board that you can touch and feel, or do you prefer, or are you more of a digital person?
I'm definitely into the touch and feel.
Yeah.
I just think whenever you do touch and feel, it goes through you and it just helps you to decide what you do and don't like. Yeah. Let's, for instance, like velvet, when you touch velvet, you just feel warmth and coziness, and don't you? And then when you touch a linen, not so much, but it's more freshness, and you can't get that on a digital board.
No.
I mean, I respect the digital board. If you're have a client that you're working with overseas, well, sure, you can send them samples in the post, but they might see something immediately.
Yeah.
So I respect the digital board, and it does help with a concept, but nothing beats touch and feel.
Yeah, I'm with you. I wonder if everyone thinks the same as us.
I reckon 95% would, wouldn't they?
Well, you'd think so, but maybe it's because we're in this field.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. And tell me, what are your go-to pieces at the moment?
Oh, wow.
I know this changes all the time.
Jeepers.
But what would be like, even if you think of one or two?
Yeah, so I've thought about that, and for some reason I've been doing a lot of bathrooms and kitchens lately.
Yeah.
So I would have to say my go-to is the hand-cut mosaic tiles that are around that are so beautiful, and now they're bringing out more and more colours. And I just would like to use them all the time, everywhere. Sometimes we get a bit tired of things, don't we? But I haven't yet. I haven't got tired. So when you say go-to, that to me is like reliable, versatile.
Sure.
And I think that hand-cut tile is reliable and versatile. I mean, they're beautiful.
And they're beautiful.
They're just so beautiful.
Yeah. Mainly the handmade Moroccan.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But also, like, for styling, I was thinking about that too. Coffee table books.
Yeah, right.
They're so versatile, aren't they? Pops of colour.
Yeah. Can go anywhere.
You can add things on them.
Yeah.
Stand them upright, lie them flat.
Read them.
Just look at them.
Exactly.
Yeah. But they're a versatile, always used go-to.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely agree with you. And okay, this is a funny one. This is a good one I think you'll like. If someone gave you $1 million and you could only buy something for your interior, it has to be an interior piece, what would you buy and what would it be?
Well, I love art.
Mm-hmm.
My first thing would be art.
Mm-hmm.
I'd buy a famous artist's piece, let's say Andy Warhol.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love one of his soup tin, multimedia soup tin pieces of art. But then I thought about that and I thought, well, maybe I'd just buy up-and-coming artists, like a whole lot of up-and-coming artists' work that sort of added up to big dollars in the hope that, you know, as time goes by, they'll appreciate in value.
Yeah.
I'd also buy some cracking antique chandeliers. Thinking of the one that I saw at the Dior exhibition. I think that was $10 million though.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Okay, but I got
maybe
$1 million.
Not that one. Yeah, an antique Persian rug. Oh my God. I mean, there's a lot really.
Yeah. And so I'd say to you, they're probably your 3 favourite pieces that you enjoy putting in your house as well as a client's house.
Oh my God. Well, imagine a client saying, and it does happen for some designers, it hasn't happened to me, I've got $1 million to spend on accessories or art, you know, so that would be my dream.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chrissy. Fantastic answers. I love hearing that insight into you. And it's, you know, things that you and I just think that we know about each other, and we don't really actually ask each other those sort of questions.
No, we don't.
And I hope it's interesting for everyone else out there to hear and listen to as well.
It's just to get to know us a little bit more.
Yeah.
And make you think what would your answers be to these questions if you're in this industry or even just in general.
Exactly.
So, yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's show. If you'd like to get in touch, email us on thedesignduet@gmail.com or DM us on our Instagram page, The Design Duet.